Right, I'm just going to do a fairly quick cook up here, I think. I'm going to do another coffee just to get things lubricated a bit, and I'm not going to bother with the twig stove. I think we'll just get the gas out. I'm going to have an omelette again, as I did the other day. Gas is in there, yeah, and the lid. So yeah, I could do an omelette, but there's a few bits of bacon there as well, so I might as well just chuck those in for good measure. And yeah, and that'll do me. Apart from I've left my coffee mug in the canoe. There it is. Give that a bit of a... Might do. That's only coffee grounds, that's not what will kill me, is it? Right, I'll just get this coffee on the go first, I think, while I'm sorting out the other stuff. Yes, funny, I've ended up back in exactly the same spot where I spent the night on Saturday. Actually a really nice spot, but it makes sense to stop here because after this I'm getting down to where the ant takes off from, and then when we get there, we almost end the trip, so that's going to be a bit sad, isn't it? But, yeah, all good things come to an end, eh? Well, I have had some good experiences, really, and considering it is Easter weekend, which I knew would be a risk, but the forecast was quite good. Yeah, it was enough threat of rain. I thought that would put a lot of people off. And it possibly has, but I mean, there's still, there's a lot of boats here. There is a lot of boats, but when I was up the other end, past Way Ford and up on the Dillon Canal, I mean, that was quiet as you like up there, very peaceful. No boats at all. The busiest day was travelling down here, was yesterday, Sunday. It's quite busy. And Saturday there was a few around Barton Broad. But it was manageable, it was manageable. The worst thing about the boats is, especially that doesn't seem to happen so much here, but on the Barton Broad side, anywhere like this, they're all parked up for the night, and they do tend to get there quite early, which then limits where I can go. So that's a bit of a pain. But there we are, which I feel I have, so I don't think I've left too much on the table. Well, this bit of bacon is either very thick or it is just two bits which I can't get apart. And I think it is just very thick. Yes, well, you had your chance, you should have stayed here. No good complaining now. Rest of my tomatoes and my feta. So let's get the old eggs cracked into that. Whee! Wow, that boiled up rather fast. There we are, that's the eggs done. Get you over there. Oh dear, getting a bit low on the old Taylor's coffee bags. So I'm now down to decaf. Right, we're getting rid of stuff now. We've got a fair bit of rubbish here. I've got a bin bag nearly full of rubbish now. The Icytech cool box has worked really well. So I loaded it up Friday morning. So it's done quite a time. Nothing in there is frozen anymore, but it is still pretty cold. So they do claim that you can keep things in there up to about 7 days, which I think possibly is a bit optimistic, but But with the right things in there, then you probably could. And of course, like all these things, it depends on how many times you open and close it. I have tried to be, very mindful of that, and only open and close it when I needed to. And keeping it, short, so lid up for a minimal amount of time. But yeah, quite impressive. See what did surprise me last night, I was in bed, it must have been, the fire was still slightly red in the embers, so I would imagine that must have been about 10:30. As a bloody boat went past, all its lights on. Very late really, so I don't know what that was all about, but yeah, bit of a surprise. Obviously it wasn't so cold last night because my olive oil is still running. I think I need to take a hammer to the bottom of that frying pan. Bloody annoying. It's such a massive dog in it. Right, so tomatoes on that half. Bacon all over. And then cheese over this half with the tomatoes. And that'll be an omelette fit for a king. Hello, we got 4 mallards now, all drakes. Looking for trouble, I wouldn't be surprised. Look out, there's another boat coming. That's it, that'll do us. The biggest benefit of eating an omelette out of the frying pan is that it does keep warm for a lot longer. Because normally, as soon as you turn them onto a plate, they're cooling down. Not this one. Well, the sun has certainly deserted us today, hasn't it? Yeah. Still, we had a we had a very good day yesterday. So it was a lot sunnier than I expected yesterday. It's very nice. And obviously Friday was a blinder, wasn't it? But, so we're not doing too badly. As always, there's always a lot to be very grateful for. Awful lot to be grateful for. One thing about getting home is I will be able to have a nice shower, which will be, back to you for one really. After 4 days you do miss a shower. Gone. Well, as always, that was spectacular. Oh, just what I needed. Oh, yes. So I bought, what are these? These 5 litres, yeah. So I bought 2 of these. So I had 10 litres of water with me for this trip. And this one's just under half full now. So plenty of water. Yeah, I've only really used it, well, I'm drinking it obviously, and cooking and coffee with it. I haven't really wasted any as such. I did use a bit for washing up, but yeah, there's enough there that I could use more for washing up if I chose to. but it's not really the sort of place you want to be and run out of water, because to resupplying it can be a bit awkward. I mean, you do pass through a few places that I was in holding yesterday. There was a shop there, but they are few and far between, and it takes a long while to paddle a few miles just to get some water. I have got a filter with me. It's in here, but that would be last resort, because I don't really fancy this water is all that great. Obviously, aside from all the obvious pollution, it's probably half diesel as well, with all these bloody boats rolling around. So yeah, it wouldn't be my choice unless I was really desperate. But then I would filter it and probably boil it as well, just to make sure. Try and gas off any undesirables. But fortunately, I was prepared. Yeah, and then some. I can't take this amount of gear with me when I'm doing the Sweden trip, that's for sure, because the portages will be hell. So yeah, so I'm really going to have to get back home and consider what I am going to take. I really want to narrow it down to that one boundary bag and probably one other bag. I don't know whether these are quite up to it really, so it might be a second boundary bag, and just that'll be it, them 2 bags, and that'll have to do me. So I need to do some careful planning and packing and make sure that'll all fit into those bags, particularly as I intend to be out there for at least 7 days, so that's going to be a bit of a challenge. Water's not an issue, firewood's not an issue, so they're all readily available. I will take a fishing rod, but you can't rely on catching fish, because last time I was there last year, although I wasn't on these lakes, but I didn't catch many fish. I did catch some fish, but you know, you might be lucky and bag a couple, but you can't rely on catching fish, so I will have to take a fair bit of food with me. And I'm thinking most of it's going to have to be dehydrated, because I won't be taking the cool box. So yeah, a bit of dehydrated stuff and a few tin bits and bobs. I suppose rice and that kind of thing. A bit of pasta. It's quite light and makes a decent meal. A few tins of tuna and mackerel. So yeah, and I don't suppose I'll waste away. The important thing is I've got plenty of coffee with me. Can almost be a meal in itself. Right, there we are then. Let's get packed up, back on the water. Right. Right then, let's just do the last little paddle. So now up to it's a bit of river here which takes you to Ranworth. So you've got Ranworth Church, which you may have seen on the horizon in some of the footage, and there's Malthouse Broaders down there as well. And I had a heron join me last night for my tea, right beside me, begging for tidbits. Quite a unusual thing to happen. Certainly not used to having one standing right next to me. motorboat went past, whatever it was, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night in the dark, and it did wake me up. So I must have been sleeping with one eye open, I reckon, or one ear. I suppose it would be quite easy for some people to get very nervous in that situation when you're on a riverbank at night on your own. Your mind starts to wander and dream up all scenarios that could happen. In my experience, it's absolutely fine. Nothing to worry about at all. I do love the outdoor life. That is very, very special. I've had a fairly good run so far this year. I've done a reasonable amount of canoeing. Done a fair bit of biking, bike packing. Had some good trips. Very good trips. So we're very fortunate. What's next? I'm going to go out, going to have a quiet weekend next week. Well, a quieter weekend next weekend. Got a friend of mine who's quite keen to go out for a paddle on Saturday, so I said I'll go out with him, take him and show him some of the places on Saturday, show him the ropes as it were. And then on Sunday I've got some friends who invited me round for Sunday lunch, so that'll be nice. I need to go and see my old chap. That was his birthday yesterday. And obviously I'm not there, but what silly times every birthday, right at Easter, I don't know. So I should go and see him next weekend, make up for it a bit. And he is 88 years old, which is some fairly good going really. Yeah, he does well. He does very well. Still very self-sufficient, lives by himself. He's got a motorhome which he's out in virtually all the time. Loves fishing, and he's got the small task of an acre of land to look after as well. So he does all of that himself, which is quite remarkable really. I see a lot of people in their 70s who aren't even capable of doing half of that. He does keep himself going. So I hope my viewing public are enjoying some of my content, feel a little inspired to get out and do a few more things outside. Certainly hope so, because it's one of life's real pleasures. To get all the stuff you can buy and going off spending time in fancy hotels and whatever, that's, you know, yeah, don't get me wrong, that's nice to do, but don't give up on the old wildlife. It's an awful lot to see and do, and it does ground you a bit, you know. The pretty crazy world we live in at the moment makes you wonder where it's all going to end, but certainly being out here does give you a whole new perspective on things. I'm not much of a person for, well, don't virtually watch no news at all. I don't take a paper, I don't watch TV, I don't listen to the news. I might get the occasional thing come up on my phone. 9 times out of 10 I just ignore it, because it does seem to be a lot of doom and gloom. Last time I passed this spot, that was Saturday night. It's about an hour of daylight left. I paddled for bloody miles and couldn't find anywhere suitable. Well, I couldn't find anywhere I wanted to stop. With hindsight, there was probably 1 or 2 areas that I could have stopped at, and arguably should have stopped that. But I didn't, for one reason or another. Mainly because there was one area just outside Ludden which I saw on the way up there, which I really fancied. And it was a nice spot, but unfortunately the wind was absolutely howling across there, so that was a shame, because then I was really on the back foot. And I must admit, I was feeling quite despondent when I was paddling down this section and getting onto the pier. But as it's turned out, I then had a fantastic night there and a fantastic night last night. So, you know, even when things are looking a bit grim, you know, you've got to keep your hopes up, because it doesn't take much to change the whole scenario. Right, this is us. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that, guys, because that has been a bloody nice 4 days. And back to where we started. So it's been really good. So yeah, thanks for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed some of that. Try and tuck this in here nicely, and then we'll go and get the cart.